Today we are going to watch together Squid Game, a famous Korean TV series. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the upcoming videos. Gi-Hun Seon is an indebted man who lives by the day with his mother, whose money he steals, while his daughter lives with his ex-wife. One evening, he is approached by a man who challenges him to a game in which he would receive money if he wins or slaps if he loses. Gi-Hun loses repeatedly, but then wins an amount with which he is able to buy dinner. The mystery man then gives him a business card with a number to call to participate in other games with a large amount of money at stake. Gi-Hun finds out that his wife and daughter are moving to the United States, so he convinces himself to call the number of the gentleman he met on the subway. That evening he is retrieved from a car, to access which he must specify the password, 123*, and inside which he is narcotized with gas. Gi-Hun awakens in a dormitory along with 455 other people. Each has been dressed in a green t-shirt and jumpsuit with his or her number on it. Gi-Hun is number 456, while the Guardians wear bright pink hooded jumpsuits and black masks with a square, triangle, or circle on them. Coincidentally, Gi-Hun immediately meets number 001, an elderly man with a brain tumor, and Sang-woo, an acquaintance of his known to be the smartest man in town having gone to Seoul University. After the initial bewilderment, a gateway finally opens and 9 gatekeepers announce that 6 games will take place over 6 days. Whoever passes all of them will win 45,600,000 yuan, or about 33 million euros, a sum capable of paying off any accumulated debt to loan sharks, as each participant has been stalked and recruited precisely because he or she is up to his or her neck in debt. Participants sign an agreement with 3 clauses requiring them not to leave the games, unless a majority vote is taken, and that those who refuse to play are eliminated. All the participants' actions are monitored from a distance by other masked guardians, while another man, who calls himself frontman and is the only one dressed in black with a different mask, prepares to control the progress of the action from the large monitor in a gloomy, darkened room, announcing the start of the games. The players find themselves in a mock outdoor area, and the first game turns out to be a kind of 123*, lasting 5 minutes. Whoever moves after the huge robot child count will be eliminated. After the first call, one player fails to stand still and is shot dead. Terrified, many participants try to escape and are killed. Only a few remain motionless, including the elderly player 001, who takes it all as a real game and seems the only one serene in participating. Gi-Hun stumbles over a dead body, but another player helps him by holding him by his uniform and preventing him from moving. Together with some players, he then manages to cross the red line, the limit beyond which they can consider themselves safe, while those who fail to get there when time runs out are killed in exactly the same way as the others. At the end of the episode, the structure closes from above and an expanded view shows the island on which the game is held. 201 people remain. Terrified by what they have seen, some of the survivors from the first game ask to leave. They vote, as per the rules, and player 001 decides the outcome with the last vote. The players can go home. Upon returning, Gi-Hun goes to the police, but the card number is disabled and the only one who believes his story is Detective Hwang Jun-ho, whose missing brother received the same card as Gi-Hun. The organization gives the participants a chance to resume playing and many return, including Gi-Hun, whose mother needs medical attention, Sang-woo, who is about to be arrested for financial fraud, and player 001, the elderly man who has terminal brain cancer, 67, a North Korean woman who wants to free her mother and rebuild a family together with her younger brother, 199, a Pakistani man who attacked his boss for withholding wages, and 101, Deok-soo, gangster on the run. Jun-ho secretly follows Gi-Hun when he is picked up by the staff. Jun-ho hides among the masked staff as they all travel to the game island. It is revealed that the guards are divided into a hierarchy: squares, the leaders; triangles, the soldiers; and circles, the workers. Triangles and circles cannot speak unless under concession from one of the squares, and all are obliged to wear the black mask at all times. Jun-ho takes the place of a circle, number 29, the guards being numbered as well but according to their quarters, however, making him suspicious with his behaviors. 187 people return. After waking up in the dorms, the players are more prepared and begin to form alliances. Gi-Hun, Sang-woo, Elder 001 and 199 join as a group while gangster Deok-soo, 101 gathers his gang, in which he welcomes player 212, aka Minio, who becomes his woman. That night, Minio asks to go to the bathroom so she can sneak a smoke, and she is followed by 67, who sneaks into the air vents and watches staff workers in a kitchen as they dissolve sugar in huge pots. In the second game, participants must choose one of 4 symbols: circle, triangle, star, or umbrella. Sang-woo quickly identifies the game, using information from 67, but does not alert his teammates and chooses the simplest shape, the triangle, for himself. Participants receive a dalgona, a small Korean wafer on which the chosen symbol is engraved, to be contoured away perfectly with a needle. Gi-Hun completes the game despite having the most difficult shape, an umbrella, by licking the back of the wafer to loosen it, while 212 helps Deok-soo complete the game with a contraband lighter. A player takes a square hostage, attempting to save himself after failing the game, and forces him to reveal his face before committing suicide. The man fully dressed in black reaches the game site and assassinates the guard with his face revealed. Jun-ho takes the square mask. 106 people remain. Player 111, a doctor, works with some guards to harvest organs from the dead players in exchange for information about the next games, and under their suggestion joins the strongest players, Deok-soo's gang, offering them information in exchange for their protection during the night brawl. Gi-Hun suspects that Sang-woo might have helped him in the previous game. Deok-soo kills another man, which only results in increased prize money. After the lights go out, a riot breaks out and several players are killed. Player 67 joins Gi-Hun's team, which protects her from Deok-soo's gang. When Elder 001 begs everyone to stop, Frontman sends guardians to end the riot. 80 people remain. Gi-Hun's team swaps names. Player 199 is Ali Abdul and player 67 is Sae-beek, while 001, having a brain tumor, seems to have difficulty remembering her name. In the third game, players are told to form 8 teams of 10. Deok-soo chooses strong men and rejects Minio, who must join Gi-Hun's team, the weaker one. The game is played over a pair of very tall bridges, and the loser falls from dozens of meters in the air. Gi-Hun's team wins the tug-of-war using the strategies of both Elder 001 and Sang-woo. 40 people remain. Expecting another riot, Gi-Hun's team builds a barricade, and although Deok-soo taunts him, the other points out that his teammates will turn on him sooner or later. That night Gi-Hun's teammates take turns on guard duty, but Deok-soo's team does not attack. Gi-Hun lends aid to Elder 001, who is in severe pain from the tumor. Meanwhile, player 111 asks the organ trafficking guards what the fourth game will be, but, for the first time, they do not know the next game. 111 thus falls into a panic and, after a brief scuffle, runs away pursued by one of them, ending up in the arena of the second game. The guard, who also arrived in the arena, tries to calm the man down, but is wounded in the hand by a gunshot fired by Frontman, who arrived with a group of guards. The boss, because of the favoritism given to that player, accuses the guard of ruining the game, since the players, who on the outside suffered injustice and discrimination, here can play on equal terms and have a chance at redemption. The guard and the doctor are executed. Frontman then orders a manhunt aimed at Jun-ho, who is continuing his own investigation and has discovered that the games exist and have been practiced for more than 30 years and that his brother In-ho won the 2015 edition. Hidden in a locker, Jun-ho secretly watches Frontman receive a call, in which he informs them that the problems will be solved before the VIPs arrive. For the fourth game, players are asked to form pairs. Sang-woo chooses Ali, Gi-Hun the 001 player, and Sae-beek the 240 player, aka Ji-young. Since there is an odd number of players, Minio is taken away, being the only player without a partner for the game. The game consists of a game of marbles against one's partner, in which the one who can get all the others' marbles within half an hour without using violence will win. Sae-beek and number 240 agree to play a simple all-or-nothing game, but, after talking about their lives, Ji-young lets Sae-beek win by claiming that the latter still has a reason to live. Sang-woo is losing instead, but tricks Ali into sending him to find pairs to play against, then replacing his marbles with pebbles. Sang-woo thus wins the game, and Ali, deeply hurt and betrayed, is killed by a triangle. Deok-soo, after almost losing at the traditional game of marbles, proposes another game, in which the person who can throw his marbles into a small pit dug in the sand wins. Deok-soo is also in trouble in this variation, but in the decisive throw the opponent's marble hits Deok-soo's, which goes into the pit, condemning his partner to death. Gi-Hun, on the other hand, loses a great many minutes of the game after player 001 gets a bewilderment while looking for his home in the playing area, as the latter reminds him of the neighborhood where he used to live with his family. After finding it, he agrees to continue the game. 001 reveals that he had realized that Gi-Hun had been deceiving him all along by taking advantage of his condition of continuous memory loss, but allows him to win anyway by giving him the last marble. Before he is killed, 001 then tells Gi-Hun that he is his Ganbu, a trusted friend, and reveals his name, Il-nam. His death brings Gi-Hun to great emotional devastation. The players return to the dormitory where Min-yo is waiting for them, having been saved since she was not chosen in the last pair game. 17 players remain. Player 69, who beat his wife in the marbles game, commits suicide. The VIPs, a group of wealthy men with elaborate gold masks depicting animals, arrive, having come to the island to see live and bet on the Squid Game. They are welcomed by frontmen on behalf of the officially indisposed host into an opulent room with people playing the role of tables or mere stage presence. Junho pretends to be a masked waiter and a VIP proposes a sexual encounter in a private room. Junho manages to threaten the VIP and interrogate him, only to knock him out and escape thanks to a diving kit with information about the Squid Game. The fifth game forces participants to cross a bridge made of glass panels, some normal, fragile, and some tempered, stronger, and capable of supporting the weight of 2 people. When Deok-soo stands at the front, refusing to move, Min-yo accuses him of cowardice and grabs him, jumping in with him. Player 17 is Glacier and manages to locate the right panels, but frontman turns off the lights preventing him from doing the trick, and Sang-woo pushes him, killing him, to figure out which is the last panel of tempered glass. Gi-Hun, Sang-woo, and Se-beek complete the trick, after which the remaining panels explode. 3 people remain. As finalists, Gi-Hun, Sang-woo, and Se-beek receive a change of clothes and a fancy dinner. However, the woman is injured, struck by a shard of glass from the panels in the previous game. Once the dinner is over, each is left with a knife. After the lights go out, Gi-Hun asks Se-beek to team up against Sang-woo, but the girl, aware that she will not survive because of her injuries, seals a pact to help each other's loved ones should either of them win the final game. Se-beek worsens and Gi-Hun runs for help, but by the time the Guardians arrive, she is already dead. In fact, Sang-woo has taken the opportunity to stab her. Junho arrives on another island and tries in vain to ask his boss for help by phone. Frontman finally reaches the detective on a cliff and reveals himself to be his brother In-ho. When the detective refuses to come away with his brother, the latter fatally strikes him with a gunshot. The 6th and final game is the so-called Squid Game, in which Gi-Hun attacks to reach the area inside the squid's head, while Sang-woo has to defend himself and push his opponent off the field. Gi-Hun beats Sang-woo, but he refuses to complete the game and invokes the 3rd clause to end it, but Sang-woo asks Gi-Hun to use the prize money to help his mother and commits suicide. Gi-Hun thus returns home with the money, where he finds his mother dead. A year later, Gi-Hun, still traumatized by the experience, lives in total poverty, having not spent a single cent of the prize money he won. One night he receives an invitation from his Ganbu at a city skyscraper. Responding, he finds player 001, Il-nam, still alive but now terminal. Il-nam is the one who co-managed the game with the frontman, In-ho, as well as the mastermind behind the operation of the game, which was created to entertain bored super-rich people like himself. Il-nam explains how the poor and the rich lead monotonous lives, so he had invented the games to derive pleasure from life and to test whether humanity had any innate goodness left, reminding Gi-Hun that although he had witnessed the bloodshed in the initial game, he and the other participants had still returned to play to earn the prize money. The specific games are based on the childhood memories of Il-nam, who decided to participate in them himself for fun. Il-nam asks Gi-Hun to play one last game with him to see if people have a shred of humanity left. Gi-Hun will win if someone helps a drunk on the street before midnight. Finally, As the hour expires, the police intervene but Il-nam dies on the chime, perhaps after witnessing his defeat. Gi-Hun keeps his promises. He gets S01's brother out of the orphanage and entrusts him to Sang-woo's mother, leaving her with a suitcase full of money, equal to half of the winnings he won in the games. He is then about to leave the country to reunite with his daughter, but on the way he sees someone playing Daki with the same recruiter who had invited him a year earlier. The protagonist takes the card of the man who was being recruited and calls the number, determined to find out who else is behind the game system. Gi-Hun completes the game despite having the most difficult shape, an umbrella, by licking the back of the wafer to loosen it, while 212 helps Deok-soo complete the game with a contraband lighter. Thank you for following this video to the end. Let us know in a comment which summaries you would like to see in the future, and subscribe so you don't miss future videos.